There's a sentence I've heard over and over for 10 years of raising dogs. And it's more wrong than right. Just pick a smart breed and life will be easy. I believed that too, until I lived long enough with a Shih Tzu and watched more than a few friends completely burn out because of poodles. This video isn't to defend Shih Tzu, and it's not to tear poodles down. I've made hundreds of videos, read thousands of comments, and there's one interesting pattern that keeps showing up. Most disappointed owners didn't choose the wrong breed, they just didn't know what real life with that breed actually looks like. Online, poodles are geniuses. In real life, they really are smart. But intelligence isn't free. It comes with a constant need for stimulation. They notice every small change in the house. Every night you come home late. Every day you skip playtime. If that energy isn't released the right way, it comes out on furniture, barking, or an intensity of attachment that makes it hard to breathe. I've seen many people who love poodles and many who are exhausted by them. Shih Tzus don't impress you right away. There's no wow factor in the first week. But live with one long enough and you understand why this breed survived for centuries in royal palaces. It doesn't need you to always be cheerful. It tolerates repetition. It doesn't overreact when you're quiet. There are evenings when I don't feel like saying a word. Just sitting there, and my Shih Tzu does the same. No questions. No demands. Just presence. People often ask me, isn't the Shih Tzu lazy? No. It just doesn't panic in silence. When it comes to grooming, neither breed is for lazy people. Poodles need precise trimming, get it wrong, and the look falls apart fast. Shih Tzus need regular brushing, skip a few days, and the coat protests immediately. But there's a big difference. Poodles need you to be proactive. Shih Tzus need you to remember. Training poodles win. But they win with pressure. You have to keep the rhythm. Shih Tzus learn more slowly. But once they settle in, they're very stable. I call them the kind of dog that gets easier the longer you live together. And here's the thing, no comparison articles ever say poodles expose your daily pace. Shih Tzus expose your mental state. If you're busy, energetic, and enjoy constant interaction and feedback, a poodle will give you a lot. If you're tired, living slowly, or in a phase where you need a creature that doesn't force you to become a more energetic version of yourself, a Shih Tzu will be there. No breed is better. There's only the breed that makes you strain less every day, and that's the real question when choosing a dog. There's a very small moment, but I remember it clearly. One rainy evening, my phone kept buzzing nonstop with work. Deadlines, stacking on top of deadlines. I sat on the floor, back against the wall, mind completely empty. My Shih Tzu did nothing. It didn't bark, didn't paw at me, didn't bring a toy to tempt me. It just walked over, slowly turned around once, then lay down close against my thigh. Its back pressed into my leg like an anchor, not to be petted, just to be there. That's when I realized something strange. Some dog breeds don't try to pull you out of exhaustion. They allow you to stay in it without making you feel guilty. I told this story to a friend who has a poodle. He laughed and said, if my poodle saw me sitting still like that, it would think I'm sad. And if I'm sad, it has to fix it immediately. And he was right. I've witnessed that scene many times. The poodle runs around, barks softly, brings toys, puts its paws on you, looks straight into your eyes as if asking, play? Don't be sad. For many people, that's salvation. For others, especially when they're completely drained, it can feel like pressure. Another time, I visited a subscriber's home. She had only been raising a poodle for a few months. The house was clean, toys everywhere, walking schedules perfectly planned, but she quietly said to me, I feel like I always have to be happy in front of it. That sentence made me go silent. Not because the poodle was wrong, but because no one had told her that this breed needs an owner with fairly stable emotional energy. With Shih Tzus, my experience is the opposite. On days when I'm irritable, it's still itself. On days when I'm happy, it's happy too. But it doesn't force my rhythm to change. It adapts. This fits very well with households that have elderly people, or people with mentally demanding jobs and fluctuating emotions. I've also tried raising both at the same time, caring for my Shih Tzu at home and watching a friend's poodle for a few weeks. Those 2 weeks were enough for me to understand why so many people fall deeply in love with poodles. And also enough for me to know exactly why I wouldn't choose one for my current life. In the morning, the poodle wakes up very alert. It wants interaction. It wants activity. The Shih Tzu doesn't. It can lie there another 15 or 20 minutes, as if saying, "It's okay. Going a little slower today is fine." And then there's something very real when you're sick. I once had a high fever and was stuck in bed. My Shih Tzu lay beside the bed the entire time, only getting up when I got up. No bothering. No demands. I've seen poodles in similar situations, and it's different. They worry. They get restless. They pace around. They need reassurance that everything is okay. At that point, the owner is sick but still has to comfort the dog. For a healthy person, that's very sweet. For someone weak, it can be too much. These stories aren't meant to say that Shih Tzus are better. They're only meant to say one thing that comparison charts never mention. Every dog breed comes with a rhythm, and you will live with that rhythm every day. If you're in a phase where you want movement, change, and a creature that pulls you off the couch, a poodle is a wonderful companion. If you're in a phase where you're trying not to fall apart, and you need a calm presence, a Shih Tzu does that very well. After raising dogs for a long time, I no longer ask, which breed is worth raising? I only ask which breed doesn't drain me after a long day. And the answer will be different for everyone. There was a period when I was raising my Shih Tzu and my life was very ordinary. No big drama. No remarkable achievements. Wake up, work, come home tired, eat something simple, then sit there again. And my Shih Tzu was present in all of those insignificant moments. Not the happiest times, but the times when there was nothing worth telling. It got used to me having very dull days. Some evenings I came home, dropped my backpack, and slumped into a chair. It looked at me once, then turned away and climbed onto its usual spot. No sulking. No begging for attention. More like, "All right. Today you're like this. I get it." It was strange. Living with a creature that doesn't require you to perform the role of a cheerful owner makes breathing feel easier. I used to think all dogs need attention. That's true. But each breed needs a different kind of attention. Poodles need intentional engagement. Shih Tzus need you to not disappear. Just being there is enough. There were days I was so busy I forgot it's feeding time. When I suddenly remembered, I panicked. But it didn't react dramatically. It just stood there, waiting, as if it trusted that I would remember eventually. That feeling of being trusted is very strange. It doesn't make you careless. It makes you want to be kinder. I once watched a poodle for an acquaintance for a few days. At first, it was great. Smart. Quick. Instantly impressive. But by the third day, I realized I was constantly paying attention to it. It wasn't doing anything wrong, but it always needed feedback. Its eyes kept asking, "What's next?" And on some evenings, I just wanted to do nothing at all. That's when I understood that I don't always have the energy to be the center of another being's universe. A Shih Tzu doesn't put you in that position. It doesn't need you to be the best version of yourself. It accepts the tired version, the lazy version, the quiet one, even the slightly irritable one. And strangely, because you're accepted like that, You slowly become softer. There was one very ordinary evening. I was watching TV, not really focusing on anything. It lay beside me. I absent-mindedly placed my hand on its back. Steady breathing. Warm. At that moment I thought we're living together. Not taking care of each other. That boundary is very different. I'm not telling these stories to say that Shih Tzus are healing dogs. They don't heal anything. They just don't make things heavier. For many people, that's more than enough. If you're the kind of person who needs a push to go out, a reason to move, to interact, to not withdraw, a poodle will make you better. I believe that. But if you're the kind of person who has already carried enough outside, enough roles, enough expectations, then coming home to a Shih Tzu feels different. It won't ask, "What did you accomplish today?" It asks by lying down beside you. We're here now. Do we need to say anything else? In the end, raising a dog isn't about choosing the prettier breed, the smarter one, or the trendier one. It's about choosing a living being that doesn't make you feel wrong for living at your own pace. And that, only you can know. There's something I rarely say in videos, because it's a bit personal, but saying it to friends feels fine. There are periods in life when you're not sad in a way that lets you cry. You're just empty. You don't know what to do next. I've gone through a few phases like that. And strangely, when I look back, the clearest memories aren't the big events, but very slow afternoons with a dog nearby. My Shih Tzu has a small habit. Every time I change where I'm sitting in the house, it doesn't follow immediately. It watches first, as if it needs to be sure I've settled before it moves. It sounds illogical. But live with one long enough and you'll notice it doesn't react quickly. But it reacts steadily. I've seen many poodles do the opposite. The owner stands up. They stand up. The owner moves. They follow. Fast. Smart. But also tense. I once asked myself, am I living too fast? That the slowness of a Shih Tzu feels so comforting. One morning I was walking mine and met an elderly man with a poodle. He said, "It's so smart that I have to talk to it all the time." He laughed. But I could see he was tired. Not tired of caring for it, but tired of constantly keeping the pace. I didn't say it out loud, but I thought at some point, everyone wants a living being that doesn't need so much explanation. A Shih Tzu doesn't ask why you're quiet today. It doesn't read you in order to react. It just adjusts. You come home late. It sleeps later. You wake up late. It wakes up with you. Some people call that passive. I call it the ability to live together. Once I traveled for work for a few days and asked someone to watch it. When I came back, I wasn't greeted with jumping and excitement. It looked at me for a moment, turned away, then came back and lay a little closer, like, "Oh, you're back. All right." It sounds cold, but it's actually very deep. No blame, no judgment, just continuation. I think many people will find poodles more affectionate. That's true. But a poodle's affection is active, obvious, sometimes intense. A Shih Tzu's affection is more like a long-standing habit. No need to prove it. No need to confirm it. There's one more thing. Very practical. When you get older, when your pace slows down, when you no longer want to chase a packed schedule, at that point, a dog that doesn't pull you into motion is a gift. I've seen many young people who fit perfectly with poodles, and as they grow older, they move toward Shih Tzus, not because this breed is easier, but because it doesn't demand that you become someone else. I'm not telling you to choose a Shih Tzu. I'm not telling you to avoid a poodle. I just want to say this. The way I would to a friend, be honest about the stage of life you're in. Don't choose a dog for the image. Don't choose because of praise like intelligent. Choose the dog that doesn't make you feel like you're doing something wrong when you're living at the pace that's right for you right now. Because a dog doesn't just live with you when you're strong. It lives with you when you're weak. And that's when you'll know whether your choice was right.